Hey, what's up, YouTube? This is Dr. Scorpio. Thanks for tuning in. Hit the subscribe button, hit the notifications if you want to get notified. Dark and Scorpio, I'm thinking about changing the name. I've had it for about 8 or 9 years. Any ideas? It's up in the air, up for debate. Hit the comments, let me know. Maybe Enlightened Scorpio, Tattooed Scorpio, Scorpio Tattoos. I don't know, something like that. That would be really cool, but it's up for debate. Help me on it. Maybe anybody who can help me come up with a name, I'll send you $100. I don't know. Anyways, that was not scripted. I got just laid out. Anyways, today's video is about tattoos. Getting tattoos from me, getting booked by me, the design, all those details. I'll cover it in my video, the style I do, everything, how to contact me. If you're not following me on Facebook, it's Jake, and then space, Nava Tattoos. Nava Tattoos is together. Nava, my last name, N-A-V-A, and then tattoos connected to it. If you look that up, you'll find me. I'm covering all that on my bio, or not just in my bio, but pinned to my profile below my bio. So you can find that. Instagram, JAYN481. Same thing for TikTok, Dark and Scorpio. So anyways, Jake Nava Tattoos, Dark and Scorpio, JYN481.
But anyways, make sure you subscribe, hit the notifications. I don't always put out videos, maybe a month or two because I'm busy. Other than that, as far as content, before you subscribe, just let me know right off the bat. I've been doing this since like 2012. Actually, I started YouTubing in 2007. But that was different content, like more music. Then I restarted back in 2012. And it was mostly about me talking about music, commenting on music, reviewing music, just stuff like that, reacting to music. And then it ventured off into other topics like vlogging, my personal opinions, my opinions about life and the world. And so it just carried on to all other aspects.
You know, my life, and then the tattooing, cars, all that.
So it's not strictly just tattoos only.
There's
There's multiple things that I talk about,
multiple topics. But if you're interested in just being entertained by me or hearing me talk about different things, okay.
Then tune in and subscribe to my channel.
Anyways, getting tattooed by me. How to do it, how to go about it. Some artists are appointment only, some artists are walk-in artists only, some do both. I'm versatile. I'll do both, okay? I can set up an appointment. I can do walk-ins, anything like that of that nature, hit me up. I'm easy to get in contact with. All my information is out there. Even my phone number, all that stuff, Facebook, shop number, it's all posted. So all the topics we're gonna cover as far as style, pricing, how to book with me, all that right here, right now, we're gonna get into it, okay? So first things first, we'll talk about my style, because you might not have me added on Facebook or see my work on Instagram. My style is versatile, but I don't do just any style, okay? Let's talk about that. I consider myself a traditional, neo-traditional artist, but some of the things I specialize in besides color traditional and color neo-traditional, it would be script, calligraphy. A lot of walk-in tattoos are names and script already, so that just being one of the things that I'm comfortable with and I'm used to doing and I specialize in because I've got the most experience with it, because obviously that's how I started off, is one of the things that I actually enjoy doing, and it's something that I'm really good at. Calligraphy, script, bold letters, all that good stuff. Letters with pictures, all that good stuff. Because there's a lot of times where I'm doing minimum of black and gray. A lot of times I'm doing deceased dog, and a client wants a paw print. I'll do the paw print, black and gray, shaded, and then I'll do like the name of the animal or the date that they died. Same thing with baby footprints, and then their name next to it. So all that in a nutshell. Traditional, neo-traditional, script, lettering, and minimum of black and gray. No realism, no portraits, guys. It's not my thing. To my next point, pricing. Why is the price so high on this tattoo? Why is the price so low?
Oh, yeah.
Oh wow, that's cheaper than I thought. You know, why do I get these questions and reactions from people? It's pretty simple. Some artists tattoo by the hour. Some artists tattoo by the size. I tattoo usually by the size of the tattoo and also the detail and the description if it's something that I enjoy doing. It doesn't necessarily mean that if a tattoo is big, it's going to be an arm and a leg, because it could be a huge panther tattoo, but traditional with colors that I enjoy, and the client is a client that keeps coming back. We know each other pretty well, good friendship or whatever, and doing them a favor, they're doing me a favor. I'm getting to do something that I want to do. They give me free range to use my artistic skills and abilities, and they're not picky. I'm gonna want to do it for a cheap price, you know, maybe 200, something like that, and it could be like a 5-6 inch panther, you know. And on the flip side, the same size tattoo of a fine line tattoo, which is, I'm gonna lump that in with realism and portraits. I don't do realism and portraits. I can do fine line, I just don't enjoy it, and it's not something that I specialize in. A 5-6 inch fine line floral tattoo, I might want to charge 500 for that, just given the detail and the fact that it's not what I normally do. And then the same size tattoo that would take me just as long or longer, but it's something I enjoy, and it's like a traditional panther, a traditional skull with some roses. It's going to be about 200 or 300. Okay, it's just the way we do things. Not every artist does things like that. Maybe they only stick to the size, or they only stick to charging by the hour. I charge by the size and also the description of the tattoo and the details of the tattoo. And if it's something that is my style, I feel like if it's something that's not my style, but it's something that I still can do, I'll charge a little bit more because it's out of my comfort zone. So that's how that works. And I'm pretty sure there's a lot of other artists that do the same. So that's the reason why prices can be a little bit tricky and different. So it's pretty simple. You walk in, you got a picture, you got an idea. I can either draw it up, I can come up with a reference picture to help me draw it up, or you bring your own picture. And given the size, usually I do a name tattoo for $100. Pretty simple. Any bit bigger might be 150, 160. Same thing for traditional tattoos, even if they're 3-4 inches, palm size, bigger, might be 200 or 300 with color work. It could be cheaper if it's a client that keeps coming back. And again, a big tattoo, like say it's a half a sleeve, maybe 500-600. Now, if we're asking for a fine line tattoo again, or a floral tattoo, a whole butterfly tattoo. At one time I did a leg covered in butterflies, and it was probably for 500. It's going to be a little bit more. So that's how the pricing works with me. Again, not every artist is the same. It might work differently with other artists, but as far as me, the prices are pretty straightforward. By the size, my interest in the design, and we'll work from there. So that's pretty much it on the pricing. As far as designs, I'm pretty versatile. You can contact me, text me, call the shop, any of those things. We can talk about the design. It's usually a lot easier, and I'm just being strictly honest. If you have a design already picked out or something you found on Pinterest, a picture, and we can go from there, and I can change it up, add things, take away, add colors that are not in there, or take away, same thing. And it's pretty straightforward as well. The only thing I can say is if you either have a picture and we're gonna customize it or do anything to that effect, it's pretty straightforward. It takes me less time. If you just give me a description and a text and you don't have a picture, we'll come up with it. I like to come up with my designs with the client, usually face to face. We can maybe figure it out through text, but usually face to face. And then me being able to see the room and the space of the area that I'm gonna tattoo gives me an idea of how big or how small it needs to be, the tattoo design, and how to design it. And then again, if you don't have an idea, but you have a vague description, I can come up with the idea and we can bounce back ideas together on what you like and what you don't like. And then we can just totally come up with something from scratch. That's the last option. Usually I prefer the first couple of options with a few descriptions, maybe a couple of pictures, or you bringing in the exact picture you want and we're going from there, other than coming up with something from scratch. But all three can be done and achieved. Just let me know. And it's pretty straightforward as far as the designs. So But again, you're gonna get in quicker, maybe a little cheaper, especially if you're coming to me with designs that is stuff that I specialize in and stuff that I normally do or post that you see. And if you like it, then you know you can get something in that style and it's going to be affordable, and I'm going to be able to get you in pretty quickly with that. So that's pretty much it on designs. Let's talk about messages. And why do artists sometimes not message or respond back to you? It's a good question. We're going to talk about messages and DMs. Every artist is different. Every artist has a different lifestyle. Sometimes they sleep half of the day and they're not even seeing your messages until they wake up and they have to rush to work, and then they got 2 or 3 clients waiting on them. And then before you know it, they're in a 2, 3, 4 hour tattoo as soon as they get to work, and it's just crunch time, guys. It's from the time they wake up, they got to hurry to the shop. They got clients waiting on them, and then they're stuck, locked in for 3, 4, 5 hours. And you think that you're going to get a response from them in like a few minutes, or you wonder why you might not hear from them for half the day, or might even be a couple of days, is because by the time they're off, it's midnight, before midnight, they're hungry, haven't eaten all day. And that's just given if they live alone or live with a roommate. They go home, have to eat, have to unwind. And then it's even if they go home and then they have kids to tend to, which a lot of us do have kids besides of just being tattoo artists. So I'm not making excuses for not hearing from any artist, like not hearing from them at all, or not ever getting a DM. Only they know their life and their schedules. But I will say it is rough, and it's not always easy. So if you can be kind of understanding, or just be a little patient, it will pay off. The tattoo that you really want, as opposed to being impatient, going to somebody quick and easy, paying them $20 to get tattooed on somebody's couch, and then you hate the tattoo for the rest of your life and can't stand the way it looks, as opposed to putting time and energy or effort into communicating with a legit artist, and then them taking time and days to design it and work with you. It's a lot better. You'll be a lot better off. So just be patient and don't be stingy. Definitely invest in your tattoos. Look at everything like an investment. Business, your car. If you don't put any oil or gas in your car, you don't invest into buying parts for your car when it's having issues, you don't put money into it, it's not gonna work. It's gonna be crappy. Same thing with tattoos. You get what you pay for. You hear that all the time, but it is the truth. If you want a $20 tattoo, don't expect it to look like a $500 tattoo. Okay? And if you're willing to pay $400 or $500 to an artist that you've looked up, you've seen their work, they're in a legit shop, they were an apprentice, they went through all the steps, they've learned, they've all the right things, and their work is amazing, you like it, you trust them, they make you feel comfortable, it's a good, pleasant environment, they're respectful, they're not a douchebag. There's so many elements that go into it, which makes it difficult for people to choose the right artist. I get that. Then spending the $400 or $500 is an investment on your arm, your leg, your face, your neck. It's an investment of art on your body that's going to last forever. So why be cheap with it? You know what I mean? You get what you pay for. So, I mean, if you want to wear a nice pair of shoes and blue jeans, a nice Gucci purse, you got to invest in your car for it to maintain. You buy all these things and things to either look good, dress nice, car to run. It's the same thing with putting the ink in your body, okay? That's the deal right there. I gave a quick description on some artists' schedule, how it could be busy. That's how mine is a lot of times, and I still find time to message a lot of you guys back. I respond for the most part. I know other artists don't always respond. And then you got to think, are they an artist and a shop owner? If they're an artist and a shop owner, they not only have to go home, go to sleep, and then they're a parent, a mother, a father. They have kids. They have other things going on at work. You have to hurry to get to work from being asleep, eating, getting to work on time, and then people waiting on them. It's not a lot of time to sit there and write a whole paragraphs on your tattoo and what you're wanting just because you want it right then and there. It just doesn't work like that. So you got to take all that into account. They're not just available at the tip of your finger right when you want them to be. We're in a day and age where we have phones, iPads, everything is so easy to get, easy to order. Everything's at the quick of the dime, and you think that you can just get anything you want when you demand it at the snap of your fingers, and it just doesn't work like that. Not with tattooing. It's supply and demand, and our time is money, and we're always busy. So, but most of us find time to contact you guys and get back with you and get in touch with you. Some artists stay booked all year long, and they're not even available because they're booked every day, and you have to get in with them weeks, months prior. That's probably great for them, you know. For us that do walk-ins, and we do kind of like week-to-week appointments, like every week we kind of set up an appointment and we're not really booked out. We have an advantage because we're bringing in a lot of new clientele, a lot of traffic, and there's also, I say there's a good side and downside to everything. You know, I like walk-ins because they can be spontaneous, they're exciting. Sometimes they can also be overwhelming, frustrating. You can't come up with something with the person that doesn't want to really budge off their idea. That might not work. It might not look good. It's just really hard, but then it's also exciting and it's really rewarding too. With appointments only, everything's planned out. I could have lumped deposits along with payment and prices, but I'm gonna kind of put it off on its own thing, even though it's together with prices and the payment. Some artists take a deposit, not every artist does. A lot of artists that do big back pieces, huge pieces, stuff that's gonna take multiple sessions, they will require a deposit, especially if they draw up a design, they put time into it, and then you decide you don't want to show up. At least they get paid for some of their work, so they require a deposit. I do more smaller tattoos as far as sleeve size on down to palm size. The majority of my walk-in tattoos or palm size are smaller, so there's no need for a deposit for me being mostly a walk-in artist. And even if it is an appointment, because I do get a lot of appointments, I don't require a deposit, because usually if it's something that's not big, and it's like, if we're talking about like a whole leg piece or back piece, that would be different. Me having to draw it up and stuff like that, that might change in the future as far as deposits. But for the most part, a lot of the appointments I get are something that I can knock out in a day's work. It's not multiple sessions. It's something that I usually knock out in 3 or 4 hours. There's been a few times where I've done bigger sessions, like as far as 8 hours. And usually I knock it out in one day. If we have to do multiple sessions, I usually pay as you go type of deal. So the design altogether is $500. Usually I charge you that, and then the next time you come in for the shading or something that we need to finish up on, it's usually you don't have to pay. Sometimes I'll charge a little extra, like let's say the design is $300 and you just want to do the line work and the color, or like the line work and the shading, and then later on you want to do the color, well then I'll charge you the most of the amount, like the $300, and you come in maybe a month or 2 later and you want color, add something, it might be $60-$80, something like that. So that varies. It just depends on the circumstances and the situation with that individual, that client. So anyways, that's pretty much it. The payments, the prices, deposit, and then everything else we discussed as far as the DMs and messages and how to book with me and how to contact me. So that is pretty much it for today. We talked about how to get in contact with me, how to book with me, the walk-ins, the prices, my style, what I do, what I like to do, what I don't like to do, why the prices are different, deposits, prices, the messages, the DMs, how to contact me, how that sometimes you might not hear from me or other artists. A lot of times, one last thing, if it's something that's not my style, or let's say I don't have time to do it that day, or I don't have time that week because I got like multiple appointments in the weekend, I will refer you to another artist that either does that style specializes in that style, does it better than me, which I have your best interest at heart when I do that. Or they might have the time and I can't get you in that day. Like if you want to get in on a Thursday or a Sunday and I'm off, I know a guy that can do that style, and I would recommend that, and it would even look probably better if it's black and gray or a portrait or something. And then he can get you in that day, that the day that I'm not even available. So that's another thing. When I do respond, because I respond to most of my messages, sometimes it takes me a while. And if I refer you to another artist, like either it's a style that I can't do, or it's not something that I specialize in, or I don't have the availability. So that's going to be the only time I do that. So a lot of people, I've had people get frustrated with me, clients that just want to only get it from me. Usually when they do that, when they only want to get a tattoo from me, it's usually because I started off with good prices as an apprentice, and then when I worked my way up, and then I got to where I needed as an artist, I still gave out good prices. And people that know me, coming back and forth, clients, they know I'm going to give them a good deal. They know if they come with me to my style, I'm going to give them a good deal. So usually I get it. They think that I'm going to give them a good price, so they want to stick with me. But sometimes I've had people like kind of rude about it, like, I only want to get tattooed by you. And I know for a fact they're only doing it because they think they're going to get a $60 tattoo, which is our minimum, or an $80 tattoo. And that kind of like bugs me out a little bit. Not if I've done a lot of work on them. If I've done a lot of work on them and they follow me, they share my posts, they're like really locked into me as a really loyal client, I do give them that leeway, that I do give them that as far as giving them good deals. You know what I mean? I feel like they've earned it. They paid for it. We have a good understanding. There's a good chemistry between me and the client, me as the artist, and then them as the client. There's a good chemistry. If I don't know them that well and so-and-so told them I did a cheap tattoo or a good affordable tattoo, and they're only coming to me for that, it's kind of like, what have you done to earn it? And then also it's like, you can't get mad at me when, you know, you're trying to come to me for an affordable tattoo, but yet you want like a realistic snake wrapped around your neck or something, and you get mad at me because I refer you to an artist that can do that better, and they're like, oh, what, you're acting funny, or you're trying to act like you don't want to do it. It's not that. It's just that I do what I do, and there's things that I don't really do, or I'm not comfortable with doing, and there's other artists that do it. So when I refer you to that artist, they can nail it. They have the availability for it. And that's what I recommend. I mean, I have your best interests at heart when I do that. So listen to your artists when they tell you that. Don't get mad or offended or think that they just don't want to do it or they don't care. Especially if you went to them a few times. They care. They care about your business. It's just they have your best interest, and they have your best interest at heart as far as the tattoo looking good for the rest of your life. And on top of that, they have their reputation to withhold. The fact that they're going to pull that tattoo off that day. They're going to kill it. If they know that it's not their style and they don't feel comfortable with it, they don't feel like they're going to kill it, they don't feel like their reputation is worth $100 or a couple of $100. If they can make it, but their reputation eventually be tarnished or affected by a bad tattoo or not a well done tattoo, for most good artists, it's not worth it. For me, if it's a tattoo that I don't feel 100% that I can do, or it's not my style, or I might not kill it in all the aspects and elements that tattoo and the style needs for it to be completely, amazingly executed, then I feel like the money is not worth my reputation. My reputation is far as doing script, calligraphy, and names, and traditional color work, and logos, and doing that beautifully. The fact that I have that reputation, I want to hold on to that. that's where my comfort zone is. Yes, sometimes we do need to venture out, and sometimes us artists like to experiment and do other things, but a lot of times if it's not in our comfort zone, or if it's something that we know that we can't pull off, or it's going to look right, our reputation is more important than that money, okay? And we're going to stick to doing the things that we know we're going to execute completely, like amazingly. So a lot of artists think like that. Not every artist, unfortunately, but most of us do, because we care mostly about the client, the aging of the tattoo, the quality of the tattoo, and then our reputation is the one putting the tattoo on that client. So all that comes into play, and the better the artist is, the more serious the artist is, the more they're passionate about this, the more they're serious about all those elements I just talked about, and how they really stick by that, you know, about the art being more important than the quick money, and the longevity of the tattoo, the quality of the tattoo, if the client loves the tattoo. Anyways, guys, that's pretty much it. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for subscribing if you did. Hitting the notifications. That's everything, man. Stay tuned and keep watching. Thank you.